Ladies and gentlemen, this Saturday, GCPPW proudly brings to you Tailgate Takeover, happening at 4 p.m. at Lamar University. It'll be wrestling and football at its finest, and yours truly, that's right, your Gulf Coast Power Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion will be defending his title. And counting the days, it's 9 months long, and I think without end, but I'm really not sure who my opponent is. No, I'm really not sure. I've been told it could be a maniacal, psychotic clown who has been a friend of mine and a foe of mine and poses a very interesting challenge. Has put me out. I put him out. So it could be interesting, but I'm not sure yet. But if you're at Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas, you happen to be there before the Cardinals game against Prairie View A&M, and you see GCPPW, you see a ring, you might see yours truly defending this thing, and hey, who knows? I guarantee you'll have every reason to DeMarco out. Now, about the subject of this video. A rematch a year in the making and how it almost didn't happen. Yes, that's true. See, December of 2000, I had faced Paul London at a TXW show. It was our debut there. We were not known by a lot of people. We were known by some of the veterans. But the town didn't know who we were, and again, we were new to the promotion. They really didn't know who we were, or just had heard about us, and we were there with other people. So we really wanted to showcase. I think we were second match, and we really wanted to kind of tear the house down and show these guys, hey, we shouldn't be second on the card. We should be the last. The talent has left the building, you know, is kind of our thought when we left the building. So we put a lot into the match, and I remember Paul, you know, really had a lot of spots, had a lot of moves, and I got lost, I'll be honest, and next thing I know, I'm knocked out. I only know I submitted to him because he told me after the match when I finally got my senses. So that was a shot, like a gut shot to the confidence. You know, there I am making a debut, and we've kind of been this brash duo, and you know, expecting to be good, and there I am. Not only is the match not what I wanted it to be, but I am knocked out. First time I've been knocked out in a wrestling match. So add to that, later on in that month of December, we were training, and we were doing certain drills, and one of the drills was, you know, shoot them off, give them an elbow, like crowd them, and kind of try to do it proper and whatnot. And Paul shot me off, and I really wasn't ready for the elbow, I guess, and I didn't protect myself and got popped in the face and had to go and get stitches. And Darren Childs actually took me to the hospital to go get stitches. So Darren, if you're watching this, thank you very much for being a brother at that point. So there was that, and then my jaw wasn't doing too well after that, and even before that, I mean, and I was banged up. I've been going strong since February of 2000 without a break, regardless of shows. You know, I was like on my 11th match, so, you know, almost a match and a, you know, almost 2 matches a month, but not quite. So I still was learning, and I was always at practice because I didn't want to be blackballed and following protocol and whatnot. But one thing that frustrated me, and still frustrates me to this day, is cancellations, and we had a few, and just really didn't seem like there really wasn't any guarantee what was going to happen. And one show in particular we were going to do it at our training facility, and mind you, the training facility didn't have air conditioning or heating, so you know, it was ideal for training purposes because, you know, your wind was really good if you could train in there. I challenge anyone to try to train in like a warehouse without air and run around, jump around, get slammed around, and do that for a number of months. But anyway, we were going to run a show. We were going to run at the Expo. That got canceled, I believe. And there was another show, and that got canceled. And then there was, and I could be exaggerating a bit, but it seemed like there were a few cancellations since Rockdale, and we only got the TXW gig because we didn't have anything else. And it was like, well, we want to train, It was like a month had passed. I really wanted to do some matches, and we came up with the idea of doing a show at the facility, and it would have been fine because we could have opened up the warehouse doors and air, but it was really cold and could not be heated. I think they tried to heat it. We had discussed doing a show and put out flyers, and then the day of the show was really cold. I mean, it was extremely cold for Austin, and there was no way to heat up the building. And we canceled, and I lost my cool. And I was like, I'm done. I walked off. Didn't give it a second thought. And again, it was a combination of things. I didn't handle it well. I was overreactive to an extent, but I was also probably just a little burned out and needed a little break. Probably that's really what it came down to, I think, was that I needed a break. And I probably would have came back right away, but then I started dating this girl, and I liked the idea of being able to come home and not having to worry about practice or the gym, and I took a break. It was winter in Texas. I mean, go figure. But so I had a girlfriend, and I was good for a couple of months, and then I got phone calls from Paul, a couple, like, when you coming back? I was like, man, I'm not sure, it's really frustrating. He's like, well, they're going to probably start running shows, man. You should really think about coming. I'm like, well, yeah, let me think about it. That went on a couple of calls, and then Russell called me, which really surprised me. Russell was really straightforward and to the point, and also was always like a brother in the sense of he gave me really good advice. And he was like, man, why throw away your talent? If you weren't worth something, I wouldn't be telling you this, but I think it'd be a shame for you to quit or, not want to do this anymore. I think you really enjoy doing it. And he was right. He was like, they're trying some things, they're trying to expand, trying to make sure we run shows. It's like, okay. So I decided to come back, and I smoothed the water with Papa Don and George, and they graciously brought me back in and were like, you're always welcome kind of thing. And I felt like I was, but at the same time, you wanted to make sure that if you overstepped your bounds, the protocol and whatnot. And I got their green light, so I came and I watched the show, and things had changed. Like McTierney was there, and he was a guy who had been at OVW and trained with Kurt Angle, and that was a big deal. Just having a guy with that knowledge, that wealth of knowledge, and having him trained with one of the greatest of all time, and catching him at his beginning, to hear some of the things like, that came, it was really surprising, especially when it came to money and hearing the actual how the business worked. It was really interesting. And there were other guys that came through, and Paul was doing really well for himself. He's like a dual champion. The Children of Pain were doing really well for themselves as well. And it seemed like guys were in a good rhythm. And I was approached about doing, kind of changing who I was, and to a degree, like, no longer be a bad guy. Because I had been a bad guy the majority of my career. With the exception of the off here show, their show kind of deal, but at CTPW, I was, for all intents and purposes, a heel. I'd been a heel my whole CTPW career at that point, and they were like, well, we kind of want to make you a face, and I was, all right, let's do it. It gives me a chance to change up my look, not so much here, but what I wore, and I found I wanted to get away from the Hardy Boys, but I wasn't ready to let go of the pants, so I found some pants at Hot Topic, found like some silver pants, which you'll see in the video. Yes, I'm going to proudly display those because they were very serviceable at the time. And I found some bright, chrome like silver, brand new belt, and a brand new shirt, which was a Superman shirt with the silver shield, symbol. It's like, well, it stands for sexy or Steve, and I was always the Superman mark, so. But so I get back, and the first thing I do is I face Prince Taylor, one of the beautiful people, former member of the Kids Clique at this point. We're all kind of doing our own thing. So I faced him, and you know, they get involved. So it was kind of like a quick, okay, now you're real quick, boom, next show I'm at. You know, I'm like happy to be here. I'm not really trying to be a punk with anybody. I'm not trying to talk smack. And they're still the rebellious, rambunctious group, especially the Children of Pain. And you know, and I was doing like the Regal neck breaker. I always dug that move because you could do it out of kind of a handshake, you know, if you were smooth with it. I always dug stuff that you could just kind of do out of nowhere. Hence why I do the sexy kick. So, so I do that show. That's in March. And then I don't wrestle again till the show that you're going to see. And it's at the Expo Center in Austin, Texas, and this was the first Expo show for CTPW. As far as I can recall, that this was the first Expo show, at least the first one for me, and it was a big deal. I know I was extremely nervous, but I'm always nervous, but I was really nervous. I really wanted us to do well. I really wanted to do well, and I was happy to be back, and I really enjoyed the camaraderie, and I was training and really trying to get, you know, get back on track, and to some degree, and it was good that I was facing Flaming Rose. I remember thinking, man, that I was so ecstatic, because if anyone could tell me how I had progressed from match 1 to now, which was match 13 of, if you can believe it, I can't believe it. So match 13, like 364 days prior, we locked horns. So if anyone could tell me, hey, you're better, it would be him. And I also thought of our first match, because the first match I wrestled for TWF, and that's Jimmy Perez is the promoter of that, still is a promoter of that. They still run shows. I think they run monthly. So I have a soft spot for that promotion, because that was my debut. It's kind of, yeah, man, it's a good place and good memories to a degree. And Jimmy's cool for the most part. But I remember I wasn't supposed to be on that show, but some guy canceled, so they said, hey man, you got your stuff, and I had my stuff. That was another rule, always have your gear, always have it with you, you never know what happens. I was going to face Flaming Rose. Didn't know a lot about him, but he was a veteran, and he does an alternate lifestyle, you know, flamboyant, masked character, and works the crowd, and you know, even then work the crowd. And I love working guys who have a gimmick, because if they know what their gimmick is, man, it makes it so much easier. And I also like working guys who have a knowledge and are veteran to me, because then it's kind of like I'm just part of it. You know, I'm reacting. I'm not so much thinking, and I'm just reacting to what's going on, and it just makes for a better match, in my opinion. It's hard for me to have to remember a lot, because I want to focus on the crowd. I mean, that was the thing. But that first match, I didn't. I remember I got stiffed by him. It was early on. He gave me a shot to the jaw, and I returned the favor. And next thing you know, everything's smooth from there. And then we go into a thing, and it's he lands on the apron, and I super kick him, and the bump he takes following the super kick, he knocks himself loopy. I didn't know. He seemed there, so I brought him in and proceeded to do like 3 or 4 finishers like Twist of Fate. I know was one of them, but I still beat him with the sexy kick, or the super kick, or the ain't it sexy kick, I think is it's referred to in this video that you'll be seeing. So. But so it was like, all right, you know. And I remember after that first match being pulled aside by Tito Sanchez and El Latino, who were also veterans. Pulled me aside and asked, you know, proceeded to kind of grill me about my match and, you know, what I thought about it. And I was like, oh, you know, it was all right. But they were like, well, you know, well, why'd you do this and why'd you do that, and you know, why would you hit the Twist of Fate here, and you know, why wouldn't you just end it if you could have ended it? Why, you know? And I was like, well, I just want to do moves and kind of showcase and so on and so forth. And they're like, you'll get it at some point. It was like, well, why would you do that though? I mean, if you could beat him, that's a true showcase. You know, it's psychology, man. Psychology. And it was like psychology was not something we learned in class. It was, you learned it on the roads. And this was, I was in school at this point, so I just kind of soaked it in. And it was like, it's, you know, the how, the what, the where, the why, the reasons behind You know, what's your character? What's Steve DeMarco? Who is Steve DeMarco? Who is he to you? You know, and that stuff, those questions, you know, about your personality will dictate what you do and why you do it. The why. It's always important why you do it. And you got to have a reason that you do stuff. So, and then I talked to Rose. Luckily for me, at my first match, you know, I was happy to get through it. It was one of my goals, and, you know, he wasn't hurt. I wasn't hurt. We talked about the punches, and it was really kind of a test. He wanted to see what I would do in the situation. Would I lose my cool? Would I stop being professional? Because above all else, you want to be professional. And if I was willing to kind of stand my ground, so to speak, and, you know, very complimentary, and I appreciated that. And then he did tell me he had gotten knocked in UP, and I was like, cool. You know, I was like, man, that's, you know, cool, but not cool. And, yeah, but he thanked me for the match, and I got to go over my first match, and you can't beat that. So fast forward to now, or April 21st, 2001, and, you know, we're at the Expo Center, and, you know, expecting to be a good guy, and it was just a fun time. I really enjoyed that. Can't say it enough. But some things to notice in the video, aside from the wardrobe, and mind you, this was 2001, so there you go. I wasn't ready to relinquish a t-shirt just yet, but I was working on it. I was getting there. I thought I was stylish for the time, you know, so. Also, there's commentary to this. I believe CTPW is going to put this out on public access, or actually try to shop it to a television station. So they did it as professional as they could, and I think it came out really well. I liked the intro. The belt in the background is our television title. I bought that from Darren, gave it to the company after I got it customized with the logo, our logos and such, because I felt like that was important. Like, instead of stickers, like at least like customize it to some way so it's not as recognizable, but it's still somewhat recognizable. And I dug the belt that we used, and George Del Isla's doing commentary, and Papa Don's doing commentary, so it's real interesting to listen to them. And Delicious D from the Studley Boys was actually also doing commentary. So I appreciate like that. Like, I watch it now, and it had a little bit of something for everyone. Oh yeah, real quick. The referee is Al Hayes, who would later become Tony Vega, one half of Double Trouble. So I mean, this is kind of historic in a sense. You get to see Al Hayes before he became Tony Vega, and you get to see Flamin' Rose, who was a pretty solid worker in his own right, and you get to see young Steve DeMarco, and you get to see the sexy kick, probably done to perfection. So yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoy it. Now, before we roll it, the next show, the next chronicling, will be the first time. Oh yes, the first time. I mean, I might cover some of that first time. It'll be a lot about first times, but it will be the discussion of the first time I won a singles title, and actually probably the first time I won a title, period. I'll talk about my opponent, who at the time was known as Red Dog, but would later on become Rodney Mack. So I knew him when. So I want to discuss that match, and like I said, if you're at Lamar University this Saturday, well, and you're looking for some hot action before the gridiron action starts, you should come check out the Gulf Coast Power Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, yours truly, 9 months, because I'll be there this Saturday. But until the next time, before I roll them, stay cool, stay sexy, stay classy, but if you stay for the video, you're all those. Until next time, later!
Mask, and we're talking about the Flamin' Rose, and what an event this is going to be.
Beautiful outfit. Matter of fact, nice hair by Flaming Rose. Look at that beautiful pink hair.
Nice hair, Papa Don.
Stephen DeMarco has better hair.
Well, I don't think you have any here to talk about Papa Don, but I guess you noticed the other wrestlers here do. And again, we're looking at the, look at him. Just yelling up a storm. He's proud of him just getting by DeMarco.
He's going to play mind games with DeMarco, George. I'll tell you that. He's going to play mind games, make DeMarco wrestle his match tonight.
Well, again, we're watching the Flamin' Rose. What a character that is. This is something delicious, Ma. How would you like to wrestle this man?
Flamin' Rose, I don't know. This guy scares me in the ring, and he scares me in public just being out seen with him.
I don't know about being scared of him or whatever, but I'll tell you, he's an unorthodox wrestler, and he has his capabilities of also being and punishing his opponents, you know.
Tough competitor Flamin' Rose is. Tough competitor Stephen DeMarco is. I'll give them both that. They're both tough competitors, but tonight, only one can walk out the winner, George.
Oh, just being kicked right to the back, and DeMarco just put his foot right to the fanny area.
That's, DeMarco can't be doing that, George. You need to watch him. Look at that. He had to get his behind rubbed by Al Hayes, the referee.
Well, Al Hayes, yes, I'll tell you, is calling the shots the way he's looking at him, and right now officiating this match. And again, we're seeing this. Oh, an arm drag, a beautiful arm drag. And again, now reversal back to Flamin' Rose. Again, sweep, and down there's a cover, and there's 1, 2, just barely crossbody. Oh, again, swept again, and DeMarco's down again. These guys are trying to pin each other over and over again. What an event. The public loves this.
I tell you what, those two right there are going to go after each other. They're going to give it all they can.
And I know, because right now we're seeing the event that this has been, and what a turnout. We have, also Austin Boxing Against Drugs. We're out there every Saturday at 8 p.m. at 2412 East Cesar Chavez, and what an event every Saturday night that is. And we have Delicious D. And where is Zeke the Unique, Studley?
George, he couldn't make it. He was hitting the surf by the time you called me.
The surf? You're in Austin or where?
No, sir, in Malibu, California.
Oh, he's up there right now. Oh, big clothesline, and down goes DeMarco. That hurt him, and he's down. And again, Flamin' Rose right now, he's going to put his body right across the chest. And 1, 2, just count of 1. And man, that was close. What a weight process on top of you. A big chop. And again, DeMarco's receiving this back again and again. He's asking public. Right.
Those will leave handprints on your chest for, I think, a week, George.
Handprints? That man left blisters on me.
Well, again, being thrown to the top turnbuckle again. Right to the... Oh, look at him. He's rubbing it out. Look, I can't believe they're showing it on television.
We're a clean show. We're supposed to be a family show, George. What's wrong with this?
Well, I hope...
And he just kissed Stephen DeMarco.
Yeah, Papa, now you need to take your advice. And any advice that we're trying to give the public out there, we're talking about the wrestling fans, they can click us on at www.ctpw.net. Information, storylines, and how to become a professional wrestler. That is... Oh! Big clothesline. Again, the Flamin' Rose is down. And there's DeMarco covered in. There's 1, 2... Oh, just barely.
Good power move there by Flamin' Rose. But I'll tell you what, people want to come watch these two guys or watch DeMarco, Sexy Stephen DeMarco, or anybody.
Now look at that. A growing shot, just the typical thing that an illegal wrestler would do for an illegal move.
That was a punch to the stomach, George.
What was the ref on that one?
Papa, now you got your anatomy mixed up. That's not the stomach. Again, we're seeing this flavor. Oh, closed fist right smack between the eyes of Stephen DeMarco.
But as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, they can come watch these guys at 2412 East Cesar Chavez every Saturday night.
And again, we're seeing the events, and all events over there at Cesar Chavez are exciting. And we're seeing this because we're opening our show with some great classic footage and some, we've got the shows going on. I mean, we really have. And the latest storylines are on our website, and people's got they're all asking. We've done movies, we've done commercials, and down goes Flamin' Rose down to the floor.
You see George Flamin' Rose getting too cocky, talking to the fans, started yelling at him, gave a chance for Stephen DeMarco to get up and drop kick him straight over the barrier.
DeMarco's climbing over that fence barrier, and again, we're seeing these guys are battling outside. Pop it on. What an excitement. He's got him by the hair, and I'm talking about Flamin' Rose is being caught up, and again, he's being taken by DeMarco. No! Slamming into that steel barrier.
Those barriers don't give any, George. Those are cattle barriers. Steel, they hurt. I know for a fact.
I know you've been corralled.
Yeah, I've had a few barriers on my head, on my back in my day.
Oh, yeah, but I think maybe your wife or girlfriend has put you into the barrier.
Let's just stick to the match, George. That's not important here.
Well,
DeMarco's going for a huge scoop slam.
And slam right to the cement floor. Again, we're watching and witnessing what has an effect on these two. My back would have been broken if I had that kind of a slam put to me. And he's slowly getting up, but again, the determination that these two wrestlers are trying to pin each other and trying to take over this particular event, the opening event here to our new Capital of Texas Power Wrestling show, which we're going to be seeing every the nights on Friday nights here. Again, well, we're just loving this, aren't we, Papa Don?
This is a great match right here. Stephen DeMarco, Flaming Rose. DeMarco's too busy to celebrate. He needs to get back in there because Flaming Rose is going to recover and get him back. I can promise you that.
Absolutely, and again, well, at least we can agree with that. These events have been exciting. But you too, Papa Don, you and your mob, you're trying to take over, and I don't know what you're... Oh, a big chop, and again, well, he's hung up. I'm talking about Flaming Rose. Is hung up.
See, and DeMarco needs to back away. Referee needs to get DeMarco off of him. He needs to, that is all illegal, George. Come on now.
Well, as much as illegalness as you're calling, Papa Don, you have not been with. Oh, and down goes Flaming Rose, slam right back into his face.
You see, DeMarco's celebrating too much. He needs to get on top of Rose and stay on top of him the entire match.
Oh, you're seeing the delicious like I am, and again, we're seeing that DeMarco's trying to do anything and everything to pin the Flaming Rose. What a tough competitor. Who's under that match? What's up? Oh, again, you saw that into the groin and scraping of the eyes.
Scraping the eye. He was wiping his face. I think DeMarco had a couple tears coming down his face.
Right, Papa Don, as you probably will say. Oh, and over the top and down to the ring cement floor.
Flaming Rose is going up to the top rope, George. What is he going to do? That is a big man to be going up there.
No kidding, and again, we're seeing him climb to the top rope. No! Oh, my God! Oh, right into the... Oh, what an effect he took with that big weight coming down on top of him. DeMarco, I don't think he's moving.
That plane landed all the way from Austin International Airport right there, right on the top of DeMarco.
Well, DeMarco's not a landing strip, but again, we're watching two wrestlers trying to pin each other, and that is oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Every show, every event, every wrestling match is just like this at Capital of Texas. We're rated as #1 throughout all magazines as an independent league coming into the area of professional wrestling throughout all the entire United States. And a lot of these wrestlers come from all over, don't they, Papa Don?
They come from all over. They asked to be brought back down here. They love the competition, tough competition here at Capital Texas Power Wrestling, George.
Oh, Papa, you saw that. Flaming Rose accidentally hit Al Hayes. Al Hayes is down. I mean, that fist went screaming right to his chin and down. He's knocked out cold.
Flaming Rose is trying to make him recover, wake him up. But look at DeMarco. Illegal. Look at this.
Illegal what? He just hit the referee. We're talking about, and oh my God. Oh, he's right on top. His face is in his, oh, I can't believe this. I can't believe this is a family show.
The referee's tapping, George. He doesn't want any more.
Yeah, I guess not. I wouldn't. And again, we're seeing this right now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I guess, but again, the referee's barely holding his own and trying to get up to awaken to find out what he can do to continue this match.
1, 2.
Oh, he just couldn't pin him. And again, DeMarco slowly now upset and is trying to snap his boot together with his beautiful kick that he does.
He's calling for it, George. The Ain't It Sexy super kick.
His initial move, that sexy Stephen DeMarco, and oh, he missed. Oh, got kicked in the ground and straight down for the DDT. DeMarco is down, and so is Flaming Rose.
Referee's got a 10 count. Beautiful move by Flaming Rose. Catches, telegraphs the perfect super kick. Ducks it, DDT's DeMarco on the mat. Both of them are down for the 10 count.
What an ability these two, and I'll tell you, barely holding they're making the double count. Al Hayes, that is, the referee right now, who's going to be the first one to get up. And again, slowly, both wrestlers are slowly getting up. Flaming Rose, again,
he's on 8.
I'll tell you, that was close. Both of them would have been counted out. But somebody got up, and I'll tell you, Flaming Rose and DeMarco with all his ability trying to hang in there. Crouch hold, lift, and slam right straight to the mat. Not that mat's hard, regardless of what anybody says.
It's hard, it stings, and I'll tell you what, This is the perfect time for Flaming Rose to go ahead and finish Steven DeMarco. Put him away, send him home.
He's making some kind of gesture to the wrestling fans out there for Capital Texas, and again, we're seeing this. He's climbing to the top rope. What is he doing?
I bet you he's going for his moonsault.
Oh, no, he missed. Can you believe he missed? DeMarco's got him. And again, DeMarco slamming his foot to the ring mat. And again, he is absolutely getting himself ready. And again, Flaming Rose, he's shaking his head.
Flaming Rose, watch it.
He's got it. He's got it, George.
Pop right into the face, and down goes Flaming Rose. Can you believe that? There's 1,
Kick out,
2, and 3. I can't believe there is the bell, and my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, we just witnessed a great win for the sexy one. We're talking about sexy Steven DeMarco, and he's spanking him.
George, this is uncalled for. You don't need to do that.
Well, I'll tell you.
You know, Flaming Rose is probably liking that, though.
And I don't know, but the winner, ladies and gentlemen, sexy Steven DeMarco.